Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Slummy, and today I'm joined here by Heimdelight and Proton of EMP, and we are going to go through our Public Test Server 4 review. And hey guys, why don't you say what's up?
Yeah, what's up, everyone?
Hey, yeah. So we should talk about how there is no infotech on this PTS4 really quick. I just want to say that PGI removed it, and that's pretty good for now because it was kind of broken.
Yes.
And they removed the laser lock-on damage reduction mechanic, which was not really well liked by the community, and they changed the hitbox back, or the hit marker. Like when you shoot at a mech, it now glows red. There's no weird little thing around it anymore. I thought that was a good part of MechWarrior Online and made it different from other games. But yeah, so they're gonna put infotech in later, but they're gonna do further investigation, I guess, and no more laser for lock-on, no hold R for lasers like LRMs. But yeah, we should talk about these skill tree efficiencies really quick.
Yeah, so really quickly, I believe just to bring the XL diesel and a bunch of the other mobility quirks kind of more in line with across chassis, the mech efficiencies were reduced. Some of them, like kinetic burst, all the way down to 7.5 from over 20%. Again, due to a lot of the chassis receiving a lot of different mobility buffs, XL diesel quirks, torso twist, etc. So the efficiencies were brought down on the PTS. So masteries not looking like as essential as they were before, but obviously the module slot is will be pretty key at the very end of the mastery tree. But yeah, you don't have to suffer too much, I guess, without all three chassis anymore, which is nice. Hopefully they implement this into live server. I really do hope it would make it, since I think Steam users would appreciate it, definitely.
Yeah, it makes the mechs feel a little bit more lumbery. I actually kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, sort of. Yeah, getting used to it slowly.
And how about this, the clan double heatsink? We've got some pretty significant heatsink adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, the heat capacity, like the heat cap. So how much heat can you generate before you hit that cap? That cap is going to be lowered. So it's gone down from 1.4 to 1.1. So the high alpha builds, with a lot that are boating more lasers than normal, maybe they might be a little less worth it. And then the cooling rate got increased, and that, by the way, that heat cap that affects all weapons. This is global heatsink adjustments. So you have to remember, this is not just lasers. This is all weapons, but lasers are pretty heat related. So the cooling rate was also increased. So the heat cap was lowered, but the cooling rate was increased slightly from negative 1.4 to negative 1.5. Does anyone think that, like Proton, do you think that would hurt like clan lights that rely on laser boating, maybe, by any chance? Or like, does this hurt lasers on all mechs in general?
Honestly, I just think it's gonna hurt like the big laser boats, but I don't think it's gonna hurt like any lights.
So lights seem a little free from this, I guess. Yeah, the especially ballistics won't be affected by it too much. I think they're gonna receive a tiny buff, right? Like I was saying, it's laser focused. So yeah,
All right, let's
laser
see here.
boats in general, a little hurt.
So
IS
why don't we get into a match real quick and start demonstrating a couple things here for the users. I think we've got some really interesting things to show them.
Yeah, really quick. The IS heat sinks, the heat cap, just like clans, was increased for doubles. Single heat sinks, the cooling rate was increased. I'm not sure if that makes them viable yet. I think a lot of tinkering would need to be done in that department. The clan mech XL side torso loss means 20% reduction in all engine-related aspects of the mech. 20% less, I think, speed, torso twisting, XL decel. Clan Gauss recycle rate has also been changed. And do you want to launch us into this match, Bobby?
Yeah, and just real quick, that's all Gauss rifle cooldowns, not just specific to clans, guys. Yeah, let's get in the match here.
So yeah, this Gauss recycle rate has gone up from 4 seconds to 5.5 seconds. I think it's useless even with the new quirks. Proton, what do you think?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's the DPS went a little too low. Like, maybe you'll use it on Alpine when you have forever and a day to kill someone before they rotate into you. But that's about it. Like, I think the Gauss is pretty much out of commission with this. I think they should go to 4.5 seconds or 5. They should have done a small incremental change. But yeah, let's go into these missile buffs. Slummy, could you explain?
Don't forget you have to charge the Gauss, and it's going to increase the Gauss
cooldown on top of that.
Recycle rate.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. So it's like basically a 6.5 second recycle or something crazy, or 6.25 or whatever 6 it is.
Yeah, it is definitely longer. But real quick, everybody, so what these guys are doing here, they're going to demonstrate the pretty intense missile buffs that were applied. So all missile spread here has been actually reduced. And in addition to that, all missile speed has been increased pretty significantly. We have the ghost heat threshold, so that's the firing, the max fire threshold here, has been increased from 3 to 4. And so specifically what that means is, as you can see Heimdelight's build here, a lot of the mechs, like the Stormcrow and a lot of other mechs, especially clan mechs, would suffer from this heat fire scale because they would incur ghost heat, because they all have at least 4 missile hard points. So that was changed. This is really nice. Something interesting to note is that clan streaks are now a lot more OP because of speed and the grouping. And as you guys just saw there, a catapult appears to be competing with the Timberwolf in the PTS due to the accuracy and the other quirks that were applied for missiles. And as you can see, it's definitely changed the mech's role quite a lot. I think these changes are pretty welcome. Yeah.
So on top of this, I want to point something out. On top of the global missile buff, if you want to bring us back to the regular PTS4 page. Yeah, so we're going to go into all of these quirks later in the second half of this video, but all of these global missile buffs, right? They on top of these, you have IS mechs that have missile quirks, like missile weapon cooldown quirks. Yeah. And they also have structure quirks, and they also have missile heat gen reduction quirks. So Proton's catapult specifically has structure and a lot of firepower quirks from the new IS mechs. And that's why we think they sort of put them on par. I could have shot his other ear a little bit more accurately there and maybe gotten it down, but despite that, it was still almost shot for shot. So, the catapults are dealing a bit more damage in that department. And also, streaks. I think we can assume streaks just got a complete buff without infotech being applied. Like, they just got speed increase, so streak crows are going to be buffed. Streak adders are buffed. So in low light competitive drops, those are going to be what people want to go after.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. And now the fact that clan missiles have been changed, we've mentioned this several times, but the heat capacity loss is really going to change the way some of these mechs are built. In addition to the fact that I don't think boating cooldown modules on laser mechs is going to be the best idea. I think range is going to be a lot more useful. In addition to the fact.
Speaking of that, we should go into these. Yeah, so are missiles going to be more viable now with the clan laser nerfs, for example, because those had a lot of range to them, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the global clan laser max range reductions. All clan lasers got reduced in range, so they have to engage a little bit closer to deal meaningful damage. That's basically what that means, and. Again, does this affect lights? Because lights are like that. The clan lights are affected weirdly opposed to other mechs. Does this affects all laser mechs, of course, but do clan lights feel like a slight nerf from this? Does anyone think so?
I mean, they will feel the heat. They won't be as cool as before. I will have to say that. It won't be as severe, but I think they'll feel the heat for sure.
Well, it definitely will hurt. I don't think it's not going to be that much.
Yeah.
Maybe you will lose like one extra alpha strike or something, but I think the laser builds, like laser builds on lights, it's still gonna be viable as they are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to
I
agree.
mean, they're all that lights can pretty much use when ballistics are too heavy and missiles.
Yeah.
Unless you have a Hugin or Hugin or whatever, you got a crazy missile quirks. Like, that's about the only way.
Oh, that mech is
lights
going to
can be
change
useful.
significantly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's another mech that changes. But yeah, so
So why don't we get into some IS quirks? Yeah.
So what are the two main things with the IS quirks here?
So number one is that pretty much all these mechs that have been quirked receive some kind of fairly significant structure bonus. I think we mentioned before that this, especially for Blackjacks and some other mechs like Black Knights, the structure bonus literally appears to make the Black Knight as useful as a 90-tonner, as useful as a Banshee, judging by the amount of structure that has been applied to it, in addition to the fairly significant negative heat gen quirks. This plus the mobility bonuses, I think, are really something that makes these mechs pretty OP.
So this could maybe bring that parity closer between IS, I guess. It's just a re-quirkening, right? That's all this kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through this class by class. We're going to go lights, mediums, heavies, assaults. And wait, you mentioned how the firepower buffs work, right? Like what we're looking for?
Yeah, so the firepower buffs, basically, what we really care about a lot is having heat generation, energy, negative heat generation, of course, applied like a global heat generation, a range buff, and then the cooldown.
Okay, so for IS lights, let's start gunning through these because this is like got the second half of the video here. This is where it officially begins. The Locust, is it still with the structure quirks? It's still it's too much glass, right? It's got the speed and
Yeah.
the cannon. The cannon's pretty decent with close range stuff, but with long range, is it worth it, or medium range? It seems like it's all short range, leg poking with that. So it's still a glass cannon, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Raven 2X, 4X, pretty decent.
Let me see here. Yeah, I kind of glossed over the Panthers there. I mean, the structure for them, the 10K with the ERPPC, kind of was just reworked so you could do 2 LPLs or some other type of energy. A lot of these mechs didn't really receive, a really significant buff, but rather had their quirks reworked to allow like more flexibility within the platform. So you mentioned Raven 2X. I think the 2X. Let me see. It was the 4X that lost the ballistic range quirk, which is pretty welcome. I think I heard a lot of people say that was a good change.
Didn't care for it.
Yeah.
You should get us into this this next match. We'll talk about it. As
absolutely.
We're set up. So. So the Raven 2X, 4X, pretty decent. The Firestarter S, right? Medium pulse. That's going to remain skirmish king, arguably.
Absolutely.
For IS lights. And Jenners are worse than all the mechs we just talked about. So
unfortunately,
I don't think they're maybe with the hitbox changes, right? They got some. Who
potentially.
Knows? But so let's get into these mediums and what Proton and I are in. What am I driving? What's Proton driving?
So let me see here. You were driving this Centurion 9AL, which received some pretty insane minus 20% heat gen and plus 20% minus 20% duration bonus. That means you can put a standard 250 and triple large pulse laser with somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.24 heat efficiency before you stack these pretty giant cooldowns. And this is one mech, to me personally, that really stood out as, holy crap, like, this mech really hurts. And then, let me see here, what else do we got? We have Proton. Proton, what are you driving? Why don't you tell us more about that?
I'm just running the simple build for BJ1X. These 6 medium lasers, 2 medium boost, because PTS4 quirks really doesn't change anything for this mech. So I
Yeah.
decided to stick the loadout I've been running in a regular client.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of these quirks were just reworked to allow more flexibility. So yeah, that build actually remains totally viable. Even though the medium laser heat gen quirk was removed, a larger heat gen buff was global laser heat gen buff was given. So.
Oh shit. I should have just gone for legs.
Gone for legs.
Whoa.
So, in any case, yeah, I think the just the pure cooldown nature of this mech, Centurion.
I wonder if I have an XL engine. I don't even know right now.
That's not good.
I hope not. This is your build.
No, standard 250.
Okay, that's good.
Oh,
Oh no, it's a little hot. If I had distance, that's a pretty decent duel for a mech that, like, if I had a little distance, that I think this replaces a Wolverine. To be honest,
yeah, absolutely. This is exactly the way I feel. I really think the Centurion 9AL is able to sling quite a bit of damage now.
for the large pulse, what it has range, right? We should also get into these heavies now that we finish that up, and then launch into those.
Yeah, definitely.
Black Knight.
Ah, yes, the Black Knight. So, just to talk about the Black Knight real quick, we did just do the Blackjacks, as you guys can see. Again, a lot of the quirks are just reworked to allow a broader loadout capabilities, but the Blackjacks really received a lot of structure and a lot of decent energy range and cooldown, or heat gen bonuses, especially the 1DC and the BJ1X. And here I'll show you guys the CN9AL quirks. As you can see, also some good structure armor bonuses, but minus 20% laser duration and heat gen really ties that mech together now. In our opinion, I think the rest of the mediums are kind of DOA. How do you guys feel about that? Not a whole lot changed within them.
Mediums? Yeah, I feel like Blackjacks are good now. I mean, they have XLs, but they're still pretty good. The Blackjack 3 with the PPC quirks. CN9AL replaces the Wolverine. Wolverine's got nerfed, I think, a little bit. So
yes, they did.
Yeah. So yeah, mediums stay the same. But heavies, I want to see how good this Black Knight goes against this Timberwolf I built. I built a Timberwolf for this. I think. So the thing with IS heavies are that we think that the Black Knights can be. They have the potential right now to be OP. So we should launch and see how this works. Because we could talk about what else during this time we got.
Plus 23 CT structure for Black Knights, which simply just makes him, I think, equal to 3M with 3 large pulls and 5 medium lasers.
Yeah, that's a lot for the mech. I mean, yeah, and also other inner sphere heavies, as you saw earlier, Catapult's got structure, firepower, quirks. Quick update, Quick Draw's got slight buff overall, I think, but the 5K got a slight nerf in specific. That makes the 4G the new laser king.
Yes.
And
Undoubtedly.
the Thunderbolt's got nerfed as well. It's pretty quiet.
We're just intensely watching. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness.
Oh shit.
Wow. That was a lot of armor for you to chew through.
Oh man. That's brutal. I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna fake you out.
That
You weren't gonna follow me. Well, you didn't even do that much more damage. You just fucking out DPS'd me. Like,
the
that
DPS
was really
is
what that
severe.
came down to.
Yeah, it is very high. Is it the 6, I believe?
Note.
The 6 KNT, yeah. A lot of cooldown range. Sorry, what were you saying?
This build isn't that bad. I mean, the Timberwolf build, it's just that Black Knight, I think, man, is a little crazy. I mean, I don't know.
It is in my mind clearly better, I think, than the Timberwolf.
There's just a lot of armor to go through in CT. I think if it didn't have like 23 plus CT, you could have actually done. I mean, kill me easily.
You have an XL engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I shot your side torso, but that's really hard on a Black Knight. Like it's a humanoid. Humanoid mechs have harder to hit hitboxes naturally than stalkers or direwolves or warhawks or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I could have shot for your side torso, but I mean, what do I hit more reliably with a bunch of UAC 5s? Your side torso or your CT? It's obviously your CT, and that's like my bread and butter. So you just basically out lasered a brawling-ish Timberwolf in a way, like goddamn. We should get into these
assaults.
Intersphere assaults. Yeah, let's finish up these assaults. Finish up and let's wrap up on this. So
so what assaults are you guys gonna be taking?
I'm going to be in a Direwolf. Proton is going to be in an Atlas. I don't even know what Atlas Proton is in. I don't want to know. We're going to try and keep this as authentic as possible. I just know that I brought the Direwolf that I wanted to try out. I think it's pretty good. I know Proton's bringing an Atlas that he wants, so let's get this started. And yeah, so the Atlas structure buffs are insane. And they also have firepower buffs. And when I say firepower, that's weapon cooldown and heat gen, I think, on some stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, Boar's Head has a negative 25% crit chance, so like you get crit less by 25%. 732B got a buff. All stalkers get a nerf, right?
All stalkers get a nerf, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's the quick rundown on assaults. I don't think much else has changed. If anything's changed, it's lower tier stuff that shifts around a little bit, but it's hard to gauge. Like if you're playing these mechs to even half of what they're made for, even half of their ability. So if you're trying to max your potential out in these mechs, it's more so, the top tier of the mechs hasn't changed. So far, it seems like the meta has shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, the types of weapons used haven't changed too much, except with the exception of the Gauss rifle. I think the Hellbringer build is going to have to change with the cooldown, and maybe some other builds that utilize Gauss pretty heavily. But overall, yeah, that shift is. I think the shift is more welcomed than anticipated.
Yeah, the shift widened what is available for balance. It still has top tier stuff though, so I'm kind of cool with that. It's more diverse, in that way, and I like that. Oh shit, I'm scared now. Oh, this Direwolf is a lumbering fat.
Yeah, as we can see, it definitely did lose some top end speed and a lot of other bonuses.
was good twisting by Proton there.
That was really good. Oh. Wow, that does a lot of damage.
What?
Oh.
Are you serious? What just happened? I can't even look at you anymore. That's so crazy.
Oh my goodness, that Atlas.
So don't go. That's lesson learned. Don't go for the AC-20 on those.
No, please go for the missiles. If anybody takes anything away from this.
What just happened? I thought I had
that. Wow, you dealt so much damage to him. Oh my goodness. That Atlas has a lot of structure and armor quirks.
I think what they did to the Atlas is what they should try and do to more Inner Sphere mechs. And they should try and make the clan... the structure is the Inner Spheres thing. Sustain DPS. See, that's what that's so cool. Yes. I think that was awesome to even play in. But yeah, so there you go. Atlases are crazy. They can tank an insane amount of damage before they even get up. And then if they lose their AC-20, they still have... an AC-60 in their SRMs.
It's so accurate. The spread is amazing.
They're accurate now. The SRM spread is pinpoint. Like,
yeah.
So clans. Let's go over this really quick. Remain largely untouched.
Truth.
There's things like the Arctic Cheetah leg structure quirk removal that nerfs some clan mechs, but other than that, nothing major. Even without those things, clan mechs may be okay. But the major final question is the last note that we have to end on here is, like, with this new system, clan mechs are being brought closer to parity with IS, but there are still some clan mechs that are going to get nerfed despite their already subpar performance due to the global heatsink and laser changes. Does this further achieve a goal of equivalency between both types of mechs while still retaining unique qualities of each type? Like, does IS and Inner Sphere still have unique qualities? Are they becoming more equal with this? Because that's the direction we're trying to go in, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's been closer to that than it ever has been on this PTS. The mobility and structure quirks have, I guess, made certain chassis viable against other chassis like the Timberwolf. People, perceive the current Timberwolf to be pretty much the king of most engagements on current live server, and as we've shown, a Catapult and a BLACKKNIGHT can pretty much duel a Timberwolf 101 and come out on top. So, yeah, like you mentioned, the flexibility, the evening, I guess, if that is even a word, of how we approach chassis and builds and what builds we can take to become competitive has definitely opened up.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Proton?
I don't know. Oh. It's just, honestly, I just noticed the Atlas quirks.
They're pretty.
Yeah, I kind of lost my speech.
BLACKKNIGHT and Atlas get insane structure quirks. That is, the thing to take out of that. And I think that's like the armor OP side of this game that we've wanted to see for so long. That increases time to kill and makes mechs feel like they have more armor, and they're less vulnerable. This is what we want. So this is a good move in that direction, I think. But we should wrap this up. I think we've been running a bit, but we think this was a really good recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall. Yeah, I think so.
Hit a lot of good points. Good testing.
All right, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this our review of the PTS. And if you guys definitely have any questions, or if there's anything unclear, definitely you guys can reach out to us on our TeamSpeak, on our forum, directly through the client. Whatever works.
It's churchofskill.com, churchofskill.com, and the TeamSpeak's on the front page. We're always online for the most part. We can take PMs so.
All right, guys. Well, I thank you for watching, and this is Slummy, Heimdelight, and Proton, and we are signing out. Thanks for watching.